When I entered the room, the alien girl gasped, "Mother! It's him, it's him!" The room was quiet, too quiet. A soft hum of alien machines filled the air, a sound that felt almost like breathing. On the walls, strange symbols glowed faintly, casting long shadows across the white floor. The room was clean, almost sterile, yet it smelled faintly of herbs, of medicines the human had never seen before. He stepped inside slowly, his boots making a dull sound against the floor. The humans in his world were not supposed to be here in this alien sanctuary, not on this planet. And yet here he was. The first thing he noticed was her, the alien girl. She stood in the center of the room, her body tense, her violet eyes wide and bright. Her hands were clutched tightly to her chest and her lips parted in shock. "Mother," she whispered, her voice trembling. "It's him, it's him." The human froze for a moment, confused. He had faced alien warriors, rogue fleets, even death in the void of space. But never had he seen anyone react like this. Her gaze was not filled with fear, but awe, recognition, something deeper than words. A woman stepped forward, older and taller than the girl. Her silver hair framed her stern face, and her eyes, sharp and calculating, fell on him immediately. She was the mother, the matriarch of this place. Her presence was commanding, even without words. "Explain yourself," she demanded in a voice that carried across the room like a whip. "Humans were wiped out decades ago, yet here you stand. How?" The human took a deep breath. He had learned long ago that calmness could be a weapon, especially against those who underestimated him. "I am alive," he said simply, "and I have come because your daughter called me." The girl gasped again, stepping forward. "You survived all this time, just like the stories said." The mother's eyes narrowed. "Stories?" she asked. "Do you claim the records were wrong?" He shook his head. "Not wrong, hidden." His voice was steady. "Your people erased it, buried it, because they could not believe humans could endure what I endured. But I did. I survived. I came back." The girl's eyes shone brighter. "I remember," she said, her voice soft. "I remember the night the skies burned and you saved me." The human's mind flickered back to that day. It had been a border disaster. Their convoy was attacked, trapped between enemy ships and the void. The aliens were unprepared, chaos everywhere, and he had acted alone. No orders, no support, just instinct. He had shielded her with his body, fought off attackers, and ensured she survived. Only a few had lived, and she had been one of them. "Why are you here now?" the mother asked, suspicion heavy in her tone. "Humans have no right in this space. Your kind is extinct." "Or so we thought." "I am here," he said, "because the galaxy is forgetting things, old enemies are returning, and because someone needs to remember that humans are not weak." The girl stepped closer to him, reaching for his hand but stopping herself halfway. "They told me humans were fragile. They said, humans cannot fight, they cannot survive." He shook his head slowly, allowing a small smile. "They lied. Humans survive, humans endure, and sometimes humans save those who cannot save themselves." The mother's eyes softened for the briefest moment. Then she straightened, her voice sharp once more. "You speak of bravery, of endurance, but you are only one. How can one human change what the galaxy has already decided?" The human looked at her calmly. "One human can change a lot," he said simply. "When others fail, when the galaxy gives up, one human stands. That is what I did once, and I will do it again if I must." The girl gasped again, almost in disbelief. "I always knew, always felt it in my dreams. The one who would survive, the one who would protect me, it was you." He glanced at her, noting the way her violet eyes glimmered with hope, with relief, with something that humans often called faith. He had never expected this kind of recognition from an alien, but he understood it immediately. He understood the bond. The galaxy may have forgotten humans, but this girl had not. The mother studied him for a long moment. Then her voice softened slightly. "He should not exist," she murmured. "Humans, they are extinct here, and yet he walks among us." "I am here," he said quietly, "because extinction is not the end. Survival is not an accident. It is choice, endurance, and will." The girl's eyes sparkled. "Mother, he is real. He is here, and he saved me. He saved me when no one else could." The mother's eyes widened slightly, a flicker of something new crossing her face. Curiosity, respect, perhaps both. But before she could speak, alarms began to ring in the sanctuary. The soft hum of the machines became a sharp warning. Red lights began flashing along the walls. "Enemies," the human said, his senses instantly alert. "They have found you. They know you have me." The girl's eyes went wide with fear, but the mother's face hardened. "We must prepare. If he is alive, then our enemies will come for him and for us." The human nodded. Then we fight together. For the first time, the girl smiled. Not a timid smile, but one filled with courage and hope. Together, she echoed. The mother turned to them both, a commanding figure of authority. If he survives, she said slowly, then perhaps the galaxy has underestimated humans. Perhaps they have underestimated all of you. He looked at her and then at the girl, understanding that this was only the beginning. The galaxy had forgotten humans, hidden truths, and buried legends, but he was alive, and now he had returned. The girl gasped once more, her voice barely a whisper. I always knew you would come back. The human smiled, placing a hand gently on her shoulder. I promised, and I always keep my promises. Outside, the skies darkened. Ships moved in silence across the stars, fleets that had once ignored humans now preparing to strike. But inside the sanctuary, there was a different kind of power, a bond between a human and the alien girl, and a warning to the galaxy that humans were not extinct. The human took a deep breath. He did not know what the future held. He did not know what enemies would come or how many would try to destroy them. But he knew one thing for certain. Wherever danger rose, wherever the galaxy doubted, humans would endure. Humans would protect. Humans would survive. And for the first time in a long time, the alien girl believed it too. The mother watched him silently, her mind racing with thoughts she had never dared to consider. Perhaps humans were not weak. Perhaps the galaxy's legends were wrong. Perhaps the stories had underestimated one species. The species now standing in her sanctuary, calm, confident, and very much alive. And in that moment, as alarms rang and the room filled with tension, the human knew that the real challenge was only beginning. The alarm faded slowly, leaving only the soft hum of the sanctuary systems. Outside, the sky was a deep, angry red, streaked with smoke and distant fire. The human stood silently, his boots planted firmly on the floor, eyes scanning the room, the girl, and her mother. The girl had not left his side since he arrived. She clung to his presence like a small anchor in a storm, her violet eyes wide, full of questions she could not yet speak aloud. The mother paced slowly, her silver hair swinging with each step. Her gaze flickered between her daughter and the human. I do not understand, she said finally. You claim survival, yet your people were wiped out decades ago. How is this possible? He did not answer immediately. Instead, he looked at the girl first. She was trembling slightly, but trying not to show it. Your daughter remembers, he said softly. She remembers the night I saved her. The girl nodded, her small hands still shaking slightly. I remember, she whispered. The fire, the sky, the screams, and then him. He came through the flames and saved me. The mother stopped pacing and fixed him with a sharp gaze. Explain everything, she demanded. I will hear it all from the beginning, the full truth. The human took a deep breath, closing his eyes for a brief moment. Memories long buried surged to the surface. The chaos of that night, the screams of dying ships, the metallic taste of blood in the air. The galaxy had wanted to erase him, to make humans a forgotten species. But he remembered, and now he would speak. It was many years ago, he began. Your people, the convoy I saved, it was trapped on the border of your sector. The enemy struck without warning. Everyone thought it was impossible to survive. Even your leaders gave up hope, but I did not. The girl's eyes widened and she stepped closer. You were alone? She asked. He nodded slowly. I was alone. No one else dared come. They said it was suicide. They said no human could survive, but I did. I fought, I endured, and I protected those who could not protect themselves, including you. The mother's face remained stern, but a flicker of doubt crossed her eyes. You speak of courage, she said, but survival alone does not explain your presence here now. Decades have passed. Humans should not exist. I survived, he said simply, because humans endure. We endure because we fight, because we refuse to surrender, and sometimes endurance is all it takes to change the outcome of a war. The girl's hands clenched tightly. I remember the night I thought I would die. And then he appeared, just one human against countless enemies. He fought, he saved me. I felt it then, humans are not weak. They are stronger than anyone knows. The mother's gaze softened slightly. She had seen many things in her long life, but never had she seen someone survive what this human described. And your people? She asked. Did anyone else survive? The human shook his head. Few did. Most were captured, abandoned, or killed. But I survived because I refused to die. I refused to let the enemy win, and I kept moving, always moving forward until I returned here. The girl's eyes glimmered with tears. I always knew, she whispered. Even when everyone told me humans were weak, I believed you would come back. I felt it. The human gave her a small, reassuring smile. I always come back. That is what humans do. We survive, we fight, we protect those who cannot protect themselves. The mother's eyes narrowed. And yet you were hidden, your survival was erased, your existence denied. Why? Because the galaxy could not believe it, he said. Humans were underestimated, considered weak, fragile, unworthy. They wanted stories, not truth. They buried the records, erased the histories, and hoped no one would remember. But some did. The girl nodded. I remembered, I never forgot. Even when my people tried to erase it, I could see it in visions. I knew he was alive. I didn't know when he would come. The mother's eyes softened slightly, though her voice remained cautious. You speak of visions, of prophecies. Are these the records you mention, that humans could survive and protect? Yes, he said. Your people recorded it, but they hid it. They did not want anyone to know humans could endure what they could not, but the truth cannot stay buried forever, especially when the enemy returns. The girl stepped forward, her voice trembling but firm. They are coming back, aren't they? The human's jaw tightened. Yes. They will come, they always do, but this time I will be ready, and so will you. The mother studied him silently, her mind racing. She had always believed humans to be weak, fragile creatures. She had believed the galaxy's stories, the warnings, the records. But now, standing before one, alive, calm, and unafraid, she questioned everything. How can one human change anything? She asked quietly. He looked at her steadily. One human can change everything. When the galaxy gives up, when allies fail, when the enemy strikes, one human can stand, one human can protect, and one human can survive against all odds. That is what I did once, and that is what I will do again. The girl's eyes shone brighter. I always knew, I always felt it. Even as a child, I dreamed of him. I knew he would return. The human placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. And I always will. No matter what comes, I will be here. That is my promise. The mother's expression softened further. She still had doubts, but she could not deny the truth. Humans were stronger than she had believed, stronger than her people had allowed themselves to imagine. The girl took a deep breath, her small hands trembling but resolute. Then we prepare, she said. If they come, we fight, and if they try to destroy us, we survive together. The human nodded. Together, he agreed. Outside, the sky darkened further. Ships moved silently across the stars, fleets that had once ignored humans now preparing to strike. But inside the sanctuary, a different kind of power stirred, a bond between a human and the alien girl, a reminder that even in a galaxy filled with doubt, humans endure. The mother finally spoke again, her voice steady. You survived when all others failed. Perhaps humans were never as weak as we believed. Perhaps the galaxy has underestimated them. The human gave a small smile. They always do, but that is their mistake. The girl leaned closer, whispering, I knew you would come back. I always believed. And now I know humans are more than stories. They are real, they are strong, and they protect those who cannot protect themselves. The human's eyes softened as he looked at her. That is what we do, he said. It is who we are, and it is what I will always do for you. For your people, for anyone who cannot protect themselves. The mother watched silently, her mind racing. The galaxy had hidden the truth for too long. Humans were not extinct. Humans were not weak. And now, standing before her, alive and calm, one human held the power to remind the galaxy of what they had forgotten. The alarms had stopped, but the tension remained. The enemy would come, and they would be ready. The girl, the mother, and the human, together, formed a bond stronger than any fleet, any weapon, or any prophecy. And as the human stood there, calm and resolute, he knew that the real challenge was only beginning. The galaxy had buried the truth about humans, but the truth would not stay buried for long. The girl gazed up at him, her voice filled with awe and hope. They will remember you now, she said. They will remember what humans can do. The human nodded. They will. And when they do, they will know that humans survive, humans endure, and humans protect. Outside the sanctuary, the stars burned bright. Somewhere beyond the horizon, enemies were preparing to strike, fleets gathering in silence. But inside, the human, the alien girl, and her mother had formed an alliance that could not be broken. An alliance built on trust, endurance, and the unyielding power of humans. The mother's eyes softened fully now. If what you say is true, then perhaps the galaxy has underestimated humans for too long. Perhaps it is time it remembered. The human gave a small, confident nod. "It is time," he said simply. "Time for the galaxy to remember that humans endure, that humans survive, and that humans protect." The girl smiled, her violet eyes shining bright. "Then we are ready," she whispered. "Whatever comes, we are ready." The human looked at her, then at her mother, then out the window at the approaching darkness of space. He had survived impossible odds once. He would do it again. And this time the galaxy would not forget. The sky was no longer calm. Shadows moved across the red clouds, vast ships cutting through the atmosphere like predators hunting. The sanctuary's lights flashed warnings, and the hum of its machines grew tense, almost frantic. Outside, enemy vessels, ships designed for war and destruction, were approaching fast. The human stood at the center of the room, calm, collected, his eyes scanning the incoming threat. Behind him, the alien girl clutched his arm, trembling, but she was no longer afraid. She had seen what humans could do. She had seen him survive impossible odds, and now she would see him fight. The mother stepped forward, her face pale but resolute. "They know we have him," she said. "The enemy fleet, it's the same one that attacked the convoy years ago. They seek revenge, and they will not stop." The human nodded, his jaw tight. "Then we make them stop," the girl gasped. We fight." "Yes," he said simply, "we fight. And we survive." The mother hesitated. Her people had weapons, defenses, and fleets, but nothing had prepared them for a single human capable of standing against their enemies. "You are alone," she said. "Even with us you—" "I am not alone," he interrupted calmly. "You are here. The girl is here. Together we are enough." Outside, the first attack began. The sanctuary shook as energy beams cut across the sky, striking the walls and sending sparks flying. Alarms blared and alien soldiers scrambled to their stations, unsure how to respond. The human moved with precise, practiced steps. He did not panic. He did not hesitate. Using the sanctuary's weapons controls, he calculated trajectories, adjusted shields, and directed energy beams at the incoming attackers. The first wave of enemy ships exploded in brilliant flashes of light, their remains scattering across the atmosphere. Alien soldiers stared in disbelief. One human, alone, and he was destroying their enemies with ease. "Impossible," one officer muttered. "No human could do this." The human's eyes flicked to the alien girl. "Stay behind me," he said. "Keep low, do not get in the way of the weapons." She nodded, gripping his arm tightly. "I trust you," she whispered. The mother's eyes narrowed. "Trust, I have never placed my faith in a human. Yet here he is, protecting my daughter, defending us." Another wave of enemy ships descended, faster, smarter this time. They adjusted their attacks, targeting the sanctuary's weaker points. The human's fingers moved rapidly across the control panels, activating defense drones and shield amplifiers. Sparks flew, alarms blared, and energy blasts tore through the walls. But still, the human's calm focus never wavered. The alien soldiers tried to follow his lead, but many froze, unsure of what to do. The human's mind worked faster than theirs, seeing patterns, predicting movements, and countering every attack. Every human instinct, honed by years of survival, guided him. The girl's eyes widened as she watched him. He thinks faster than anyone," she whispered. "He sees everything and acts before they can even react." The mother's face hardened, admiration mixed with disbelief. "He is more than a human," she said softly. "He is extraordinary." The sanctuary shook again as the enemy's third wave struck. A massive ship fired a concentrated energy beam, splitting the shields and sending sparks flying across the control room. The human barely flinched. He dove into the path of the control panels, rerouted power, and fired back. The beam missed its target, striking the mountains outside instead. The girl gasped, holding her hand to her mouth. He saved us again." The mother's eyes narrowed at the human, a flicker of awe crossing her stern expression. "He is not just surviving," she murmured. "He is controlling the battle, directing it, even when the odds are against him." Outside, the enemy realized they were facing not just a sanctuary, but a force they could not anticipate. One human, calm and relentless, was defending with precision and power no alien fleet had expected. Ships collided, exploded, and fell into the atmosphere like shooting stars, each one proof that humans were underestimated. The human moved toward the girl, placing himself between her and a damaged control panel that sparked dangerously. "Stay close," he said. "Watch but do not interfere." She nodded, her eyes wide with amazement. I have never seen anyone like this, she whispered. The mother stepped closer, observing him silently. Perhaps the galaxy has been blind, she said softly. Perhaps humans are stronger, smarter, more capable than we ever imagined. Another enemy wave approached. This time, elite soldiers boarded the sanctuary in fast pods, attempting to breach its walls. The human anticipated their landing points, redirecting the sanctuary's internal defense systems. Lasers fired from hidden turrets, striking the enemies with deadly precision. The girl gasped. He fights alone, and yet he is unstoppable. The mother's eyes widened. He is no ordinary human, she muttered. He is a protector, a warrior, the one our legends spoke of. The human moved quickly, using both strategy and instinct. He did not hesitate, he did not fear, he did not falter. Every step, every action, every calculation was perfect. He was not only defending the sanctuary, he was teaching the alien soldiers how to fight. He was showing them what humans were capable of. Hours passed. Enemy after enemy came, yet the human stood firm. He was exhausted, but he never slowed. The sanctuary remained intact, the girl safe, and the mother, though silent, watched with growing respect. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the last enemy ship retreated. The sky cleared, leaving only smoke and the distant glow of destroyed vessels. The sanctuary was damaged but still standing, a testament to human resilience. The girl ran to him, hugging him tightly. You saved us, she cried. I knew humans could do this, I knew it. The human smiled faintly, placing his hands gently on her shoulders. I promised, he said. I always keep my promises. The mother approached slowly, her eyes soft but piercing. You were right, she said quietly. Humans endure, humans survive, humans protect. I doubted I was wrong. The human nodded. It is not about being right, he said. It is about surviving, about protecting, about making sure others live. That is what humans do. That is what I do. The girl looked up at him, eyes shining. And now everyone will know. They will see humans are not weak. They are extraordinary. The mother studied him silently, her mind racing with the implications. The galaxy underestimated you, she said finally. And now they will remember. They will remember humans. The human looked out at the sky, the remnants of enemy ships drifting silently. They will, he said calmly, and when they do, they will know humans are not just survivors. Humans are protectors, humans endure, and humans will never be ignored again. The girl hugged him again, whispering, I always believed in you, I always knew you would come back. The human placed his hand gently on her head. I always do, he said. No matter what comes, I will always be here, that is my promise. The mother watched silently, a small smile forming on her lips. Perhaps humans were never weak, she said softly. Perhaps the galaxy has been blind. Perhaps it is time we learn the truth. The human nodded. It is time, he said simply. Time for the galaxy to remember who humans truly are. And as the sun set beyond the mountains, casting long shadows over the sanctuary, one truth became clear. The galaxy would never forget humans again. Because one human had shown them the impossible. Because one human had stood, unyielding, against impossible odds. Because humans endure. Because humans protect. Because humans survive. The sanctuary was quiet once more, but the calm was uneasy. Smoke lingered in the air from the recent battle, and the floors were scarred with sparks and burn marks. Outside, distant stars glimmered, indifferent to the violence that had just passed. The alien mother paced slowly, her silver hair brushing against her shoulders. Her eyes were sharp, yet shadowed with doubt and thought. The human stood nearby, his expression calm, his hands resting on the control panel, scanning the sanctuary's damaged systems. The girl stayed close, her violet eyes fixed on him, full of trust and hope. They are coming back, the mother said finally, her voice low and tense. And when they do, they will bring more than ships. They will bring fleets, weapons, and death. How can one human and us hope to survive? The human turned to her, calm as always. We will survive, he said simply. Because humans endure, we endure when others give up. We endure when the odds are impossible, and we endure to protect those who cannot protect themselves. That is what I do. The girl's eyes shone with admiration. I saw it, she whispered. I saw how you fought, alone against so many, and you survived, you saved us. The mother's expression softened slightly. Yes, and that is what frightens me. She stopped pacing, folding her arms. I have spent decades protecting my people. I have made every decision carefully. I have never trusted humans, and yet here you are, alive, strong, unyielding. The human nodded. You do not have to trust me yet. You only need to see the truth. Humans protect. Humans endure. Humans survive. And sometimes, humans change the galaxy simply by refusing to fail. The mother sighed, closing her eyes for a moment. Her mind was a storm of thoughts. The human had saved her daughter. He had fought against impossible odds. He had proven that humans were not weak. Yet the weight of centuries of tradition, the fear of alien politics, and the threat of the returning enemy pressed heavily on her. I must make a choice, she said quietly. A choice that could change the fate of my people. One mistake and we could all die. The human stepped closer. Then make the choice that protects them, he said. Do not be afraid. Humans endure because we act when we must, even when fear is present. The girl looked between them, her voice trembling but determined. Mother, he saved me. He saved us. We cannot turn away now. We must stand with him. The mother's eyes softened as she studied her daughter. The girl had grown, from a small child rescued in the flames of war to a young woman capable of understanding courage, loyalty, and hope. And yet, she said softly, if we join forces, we risk everything. We risk our people, our future, our honor. The human's voice was calm but firm. Honor is not in hiding. Honor is not in fearing what comes. Honor is in protecting life, in standing up against impossible odds, in surviving when all others give up. That is what humans know, and that is what you now have the chance to do. The mother's gaze fell to the floor. Memories of past battles, failed alliances, and lost lives weighed heavily on her. But she could not ignore the truth. The human had proven what humans were capable of. He had saved her daughter. He had survived when all others would have failed. Finally, she spoke. Very well, she said slowly. We will join you, not because I trust easily, but because I see the truth. Humans endure, and perhaps they can teach us to endure as well. The human nodded, a small smile forming. Then we prepare, he said. They will come again, stronger, faster, more prepared, but together we will stand, and we will survive. The girl's eyes sparkled with hope. Together, she echoed, we are ready. Outside the sanctuary, the galaxy's enemies were regrouping. Fleet after fleet gathered silently, calculating their next strike. They had underestimated the human, dismissed him as weak, as extinct, as irrelevant. And now their mistake would cost them. Inside, the sanctuary became a hive of preparation. Alien soldiers repaired weapons, reinforced shields, and followed the human's precise instructions. Every movement he made was deliberate, every command carefully calculated. The mother watched silently, seeing her people respond to his leadership. For the first time, she felt the stirrings of respect, not just for one human, but for the species as a whole. You are extraordinary, she admitted quietly. Not because of strength, but because of strategy, courage, and resolve. The human shook his head. It is not extraordinary, it is human. We endure, we survive, we protect. That is all. The girl stepped closer, her hand brushing against his arm. I have seen it, she said softly. I have seen how humans fight, how humans survive, and how humans protect. I will never forget it. The mother studied him for a long moment, then nodded. Very well, if we are to fight together, we must understand each other. Your methods, your instincts, they are unlike ours, but perhaps that is what makes humans exceptional. The human smiled faintly. We adapt, we survive, we learn quickly, and we fight hardest when those we care about are threatened. The girl looked up at him, her eyes shining. Then we fight together. Whatever comes, we will survive with you. The night fell, and the sanctuary became a fortress of preparation. Alien soldiers moved swiftly, installing defensive systems, securing vital areas, and readying ships for immediate launch. The human walked among them, observing, guiding, and teaching. He noticed fear in some, hesitation in others, but he never faltered. Courage is not the absence of fear, he said, addressing the gathered soldiers. Courage is acting even when fear is present. You must protect your people, you must endure, and you must survive. That is what humans do, that is what I do, and that is what we will do together. The soldiers nodded slowly, understanding dawning in their eyes. The human had survived impossible odds. He had saved lives when no one else could. And now he was teaching them that survival was not about strength alone. It was about endurance, strategy, and protection. The mother watched silently, her heart heavy with responsibility, yet lightened with hope. Perhaps this is the path we were meant to take, she thought. Perhaps humans can teach us what it truly means to survive. The girl stayed close to the human, her trust in him absolute. She had seen his courage, his endurance, and his protection. And she knew without a doubt that humans could change the course of the galaxy. Hours passed, and the sanctuary became ready for the next attack. Weapons were charged, shields reinforced, and escape routes secured. Every soldier, alien and human, knew the stakes. Every movement was precise, every decision critical. Finally, the mother stepped forward, addressing the human. If we are to fight together, we must act as one. You have proven your strength, your endurance, and your wisdom. Now, we must follow your lead. The human nodded. Then we act together, he said simply. The galaxy may underestimate humans, but they will not underestimate us again. The girl smiled, her violet eyes shining. Together, she said, we are ready for whatever comes. The mother's expression softened, a small smile forming on her lips. Then let it come, she said. If humans endure, then perhaps we can endure as well. The night was filled with quiet anticipation. Outside, enemy fleets moved closer, preparing for the next assault. Inside, the sanctuary was a fortress of hope, courage, and determination. And in the center of it all stood the human, calm, unwavering, and ready. The galaxy had underestimated humans for too long, but no longer. The girl watched him, her heart full of awe. I always believed, she whispered. I knew humans could endure and protect and survive. Now the galaxy will see it too. The human's eyes met hers. They will, he said. And when they do, they will know humans are not to be underestimated. They will know humans endure. They survive and they protect. The mother watched them both, her heart heavy with responsibility, yet lightened with hope. She had made her choice. She had chosen to stand with the human. She had chosen to believe in humans. And perhaps, just perhaps, it would be enough to change the galaxy.